Today we're going to be going from this to this on the Gen 2 Ford Raptor. Now, we couldn't have asked for better weather to be working on the interior of the Ford Raptor today, but this has been a lot of hype on the internet lately. I don't know why, but it got announced and everybody's been talking about it in all of the different Ford Raptor groups. So I, of course, reached out and got them to send me one. So I'm going to check it out. Essentially, we're going from the Gen 2 style up to the Gen 3 style screen. Apparently it's not changing too much, but hopefully it works well. You never know with these electronics products. So we're going to set it up, test it out, install it, do all the good stuff, and see if it works. If it does and you want to check it out, there is a link in the description that you guys can go ahead and check it out and get one for yourself. So yeah, this is pretty much it. This is what we're going to be working with today. You guys have seen it on the internet, and now you're going to be seeing it in the Ford Raptor. So shout out to them for sending it, because I'm curious to see if it actually works, because that Gen 2 screen, probably the most dated thing about this truck. Not my favorite, but let's just bring it inside because we got some snow coming down. I'm gonna go ahead and crack this thing open and see what we've got inside. I did take a quick brief look, obviously, beforehand to make sure everything was here, I hope. And yeah, this might be the first time we're actually gonna take a look at the instructions. We never usually take a look at the instructions, but I'm sure there's gonna be some interesting stuff. You have to do something with a ribbon cable, and you have to apply hot melt adhesive tape. I don't know what that means, so we're gonna have some fun, I guess. So here is the actual product screen itself, and you can see it's pretty nice looking. I'm just gonna peel this right now, and you probably should wait until after install, but that's satisfying. So yeah, here's what we're looking at for the screen. You can see it basically goes to a Gen 3 setup. It's got your vents and everything already here. Your buttons up top. I'm assuming you could swap this with a real button if you have one there. Not 100% sure. We're gonna have some fun here for sure. Hopefully everything fits with what we're doing and it matches up. So we also have the automatic climate controls right here, which I'm assuming this is a plastic trim piece. Yep. So you could totally paint this too, or do like a what's that called, where you like dip it, hydro dipping it. You could totally hydro dip. This is just ABS plastic. You could paint it, you could wrap it, whatever you want to do. And then in this bag we have what appears to be some metal mounting brackets of sorts. We'll find out about those later, I'm sure. I'm assuming this is one of the side panels to mount your different controls on the side. Another side panel plate here. This one's blank, so it's for the opposite side. And then we have our manual air conditioning controls. I don't know if you need both of these or kind of what the deal is, or if it's one or the other, depending on what your setup has. Mine has all the automatic controls, so I'm assuming that. They do even include some panel popping tools, so we're going to use these today. We're not going to use the ones I already own. We're going to give it the full test. And then over here, there's some other little control modules, it looks like. It is just some little mounting plates. I'm assuming if you don't have that option, you put that. If you do have the option, you put this. Or maybe this will let you put a USB on there. I'm not sure. But we do have some more little mounting plates. They give you what looks to be some spare clips in case you break them as you're kind of popping things around, I'd assume. And then you got different other spare parts and screws and stuff that may be needed. We'll set those over here. And this must be that heat adhesive ribbon cable kind of stuff that they were talking about. Not sure. I haven't done this kind of install before. My first time. So we're going to find out. And then here is the harness. So you can see here when I take it out. It's got all the different connections and everything that you need, hopefully, to connect all this stuff together. And hopefully it works in the end. So now that I have this out, I'm gonna go look at the instructions and start taking the actual piece out of my my truck, and then we'll get it in here and start working on it. So I'm not going to bore you with all the details of, all the taking it apart and everything. I'll put a link in the description that kind of goes through how to take this whole thing apart, because there's a lot of videos that do it a lot better than I would have explained, and like I said, there's a million of them already out there. There's also a CARABC full install video with no voiceover, which I'm sure I'll probably put some clips of throughout this video, just kind of talking about what I'm doing, why and when, and kind of that kind of thing. But yeah, just don't worry about it. It was a pain in the butt getting this thing off, but once it came off, beauty. Now, after that insanely fun process, this is what we're working with. So we've got our left piece of trim here out of the truck. I will put some videos, like I said, up down below for you to watch of how to actually remove all this, because it's very time consuming, I guess, in a way, and it's kind of annoying. But yeah, we have to start removing all of these pieces, I believe, and then moving them into the new trim pieces and locations, I suppose, over here and over there. So that's what we have to work on now. Again, there's install videos right here. You can scan that. I'll put the link down below. But we're going to actually look at the install instructions here and see what we got to do. Essentially, I think we just have to take this apart and put the pieces into this, and then mounting brackets, connect it all up and plug it in and hope it works. That's kind of what I'm going for here, but we're going to find out, I suppose. So from this point, all I did is I brought the whole unit inside, started removing the bolts off the back, which, just separates the whole frame from the circuit boards. And then we got to remove those circuit boards nice and carefully. In the install video, they disconnected the two boards from each other with like the ribbon cables. On my end, I just kept them together and was just really gentle with it, and it worked out perfectly fine. So just a heads up. Then you're going to remove all the buttons and reconnect them back in, and it's pretty straightforward, honestly. Watch the install video. Okay, so I know the instructions here are kind of decent, I guess, but their video shows a little bit more, but a few of the things that it doesn't show that I figure I'll show here is your trailer brake. If you have one and you need to put this in, you have to use a little trim piece that comes with it. You cannot take this one out, I do not believe. The little black one there, so it's kind of forced in there, so you have to actually just remove it. All of these just have a tiny clip at the top and at the bottom, and they pop out, and then you just pop it into this little interface that they kind of give you. And then there is special screws that kind of have a little sombrero top hat looking thing here, and those are what you need, the little black screws to screw this in. I forgot about those and went to use it and couldn't find them, so that's what's going to go over here on this side, I suppose, and then your little brake controller will go there. And then this is just a flat side for the other side. Again, you could probably wrap these pretty easy. And then for this stuff, I'm still unsure what this piece is going to do. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what it's going to do here. But we do have this, which looks like it goes into there, and then maybe goes some, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure yet. We're gonna have to figure that out. The install video and the instructions don't really show us, so we're gonna figure it out on our own. Then we have like a USB port and all this kind of connections and plugs and stuff. With this, it's pretty straightforward. The instructions in the video both show you how to do it. Same thing with all your clips up here and these. You do lose your passenger airbag light, it looks like. There's no real way to retain that on the front side. You can see you basically just have some blank buttons there, which is strange to me because I have a bunch more buttons here that now I don't have. And I also lose the passenger airbag lights and stuff, which is kind of strange too. Unless I did something wrong, but from what I can see, that's what it's looking like. Okay, for anybody that is a little bit slow like me and they, trying to figure things out here. So we got the panels placed in here. You can see the trailer backup is connected there. Now we're just basically plugging everything back in, but you have to think about what you're doing. So the blue goes back onto this piece of the screen. The connector from that harness that they give you goes into here and locks in, and then you're going to plug your piece into the female end. That's going to basically say from the truck into there is going to go into the screen here. It's basically just going to copy it from there. Your other modules are going to plug in here, and then this little one that I was saying I wasn't sure what to do, that comes onto here. Pretty straightforward. You pop that little guy off. They give you this other little extension harness that's going to plug into here, and then it's going to go over to here, color coordinated for you. And then the white end of your harness obviously goes into here. Pretty straightforward, I would say, once I'm kind of figuring it out and looking at it. The other thing that they say to do is to run the USB into somewhere that you can plug it in for firmware updates. So on these trucks, it's actually fairly easy. This bottom corner over here is pretty open. You can kind of get your fingers up in here and pull it through. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull the USB into the glove box. That'll be fine for now. I'm assuming this is if you have an aftermarket backup camera or something, or a video feed in, you're going to connect that there. And then I'm not sure exactly what this would be for, but I'm not worried about that. These are going to go to our top buttons. This is obviously going to go to our button over here. Two plugs over here will go to our two buttons over here. And then, yeah, it's pretty straightforward from there. I just have to plug this guy back in, and then obviously the other two plugs onto the actual harness here. But we're pretty much about to be good to go to give it a test. Another tip is to not put the bottom pieces in first, because this has to go in first. Who would have thought? Yeah, but we got most of it connected up in the back. You can see inside of here, we've got our cable kind of dangling in there. Just have to plug up these two and then the other side, and then I guess I should test it before going forward from there. But then we'll know if it actually works or not. But it looks way better already. So I just plugged those few things in. You can see it did turn on, but you can see it's still populating like a small screen. They did say that there's a way you have to cycle it in the instructions. I should probably just look at it before continuing. Okay, here. If the boot screen displays in the 8-inch UI size, you need to disconnect and reconnect plug 1 or plug 2 and restart the screen. Remember not to restart the car screen using the car's ignition switch. Oh, well, maybe I'm a little bit dumb. So I guess I have to disconnect plug 1 or plug 2, I guess. So it's booting up, but I'm still getting the small screen. You guys will see. Yep, there it is still. I've probably done it. It says to do it. If it's unsuccessful the first time, to do it, repeat it until it displays full screen. And I'm on attempt number about 30. No luck. So not sure what I'm doing wrong. I got this pretty interesting setup here. But yeah, I'm literally disconnecting this plug or both of them, and no sequence is giving me what I want.
3 days later.
Boy, do I have an exciting update for you here. I don't know what day it is. I don't know where we are, but boys, we have got an answer. And by an answer, I don't just mean an answer. I mean, we have success to an extent. Now, you guys saw probably 13 seconds ago that we were having some trouble getting it to boot up and actually expand. Did a little bit of research on my own and figured it out that I needed to update it. They did tell me from support after that wasn't the case. So I have you can see here, full screen CarPlay now, which is pretty sick, and the buttons work, which is, a huge win. And then of course we can go into our sync system and we have the full thing. Now you're seeing I'm getting a navigation fault. I will be fixing that. That's just going to be a quick little update with a USB stick, hopefully get that done later. But you see the maps is there. You can go into CarPlay, obviously, go back to sync, settings, everything's good to go in here. If you go into our general, I believe, we can see our about sync. So we had product version of 3.3, I believe it was like 3.3, some version of that. Now we are up to version 3.4. So we're fully up to date with the newest one. And look how good it looks. It works perfectly fine. It's nice and snappy and responsive, looks better. You can see here with the steering wheel, look at that, it's looking good. So yeah, guys, it does work. It's been good so far. I mean, you can see how everything's kind of looking around in here. Looks a lot better in my opinion. I really like how it came out. And it basically is like a Gen 3 screen inside of here, and it does, the same thing, high quality. If I pop the reverse camera here, you can see that doesn't go like completely full, and I think that becomes an issue just based off the camera itself. But it is so much more crispy and it's so much easier to see, especially at night, I've noticed. But yeah, the cameras pop in. If we click this button, we can kind of switch around through the different views. You can see it's a lot bigger, obviously, but it does look a lot better. And yeah, the front camera and all the different views. But yeah, guys, works, looks good, and yeah, so if you want to get it, top link down in the description. Like I said before, you guys can go ahead and check it out for yourselves. So like I said, I will put out a future update video to let you know if I have any issues in the future or if it's good. And yeah, so check out this video up here if you want to do more mods to your Raptor, and I'll be catching you in the next one.
Big screen dreams, I'm the king of the dash. Keys to the Jeep, engine growl like it's mad. SRT beats in the streets, it's a blast. 3 visits a week, watch me stack up the cash. Grab the tires, crunch dirt, eating the gravel. Cameras rolling, my life's an unravel. Gas pedal heavy, heart race, it's a marvel. Subscribers flood in, clicking fast, no travel.